Shalom, beautiful women of YAH, and welcome back to Uniquely Fitted. I am so grateful that you are here for another Identity Tuesday teaching. Today, we're going to slow down, come back to scripture, and allow YAH to speak over who we are. Before we get into this teaching, take a moment to quiet your heart. Release the pressure, release the need to perform, release the need to have everything figured out, and simply come back under YAH's truth. Today, this message is for women who have been wrestling with fear, fighting with old patterns, feeling pulled for approval, or trying to remember who she is in YAH. So if that's you, stay with me. We're going to walk through this together. You ever notice how quickly fear tries to introduce you to yourself? Fear says, this is who you are. Rejection says, this is all you will ever be. The flesh says, follow what you feel. Approval says, become what they will accept. But today, we're going back to covenant truth. You are not who fear named you. You are not who survival trained you to be. You are not who rejection convinced you were. You are not who people approve or disapprove of. You are who YAH says you are. If YAH is Lord, then he does not just get access to your schedule, your worship, or your words. He gets authority over who you are. So today's Identity Tuesday teaching is called I Am Who YAH Says I Am. Covenant identity over fear, flesh, and approval. Covenant identity is not self made identity. It's not, I decide who I am apart from YAH. It's not building a version of yourself based on wounds, trends, opinions, emotions, or survival. Covenant identity means I belong to YAH. It means my life is under his authority. It means YAH gets to define me, lead me, correct me, restore me, and call me forward. This is why identity is not just a confidence issue, it's a lordship issue. The deeper question is who has permission to define me? If fear defines me, I will be defensive. If the flesh defines me, I will live unstable. If approval defines me, I will live exhausted. If shame defines me, I will live hidden. If YAH defines me, I will live rooted. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name, and you are mine. Isaiah 43 and 1. Before you were trying to prove yourself, YAH already knew how to call you. Before fear named you, he called you. Before rejection labeled you, he claimed you. The foundation of covenant is this: I am his. Fear has a voice. Fear has suggestions. Fear has predictions. Fear has memories. Fear has a language. Fear does not have lordship. Fear may say, you are not ready. You are not safe. You are going to fail. You will be rejected again. You are too far behind. You are not enough. But covenant truth says, YAH has not given fear the authority to name me. Fear can warn, but cannot rule. Fear can speak, but it cannot lead. Fear can visit, but it cannot sit on the throne. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1 and 7. A sound mind is not a mind that never feels fear. A sound mind is a mind that knows fear is not the master. This is where identity has become practical. When fear speaks, I do not have to agree. When fear rises, I do not have to obey. When fear names me, I can answer with truth. Now, take a breath. Reject fear, false authority, and speak this declaration over your life. Fear is not my Lord. Yahuwah has the final word over who I am. The flesh may try to build identity out of appetite, emotion, impulse, and old patterns. The flesh says, I feel like it. It must be true. I want it, so I should follow it. I am triggered, so I must react. I am tired. I should quit. I am uncomfortable. I should escape. But covenant identity says, I am not led by every feeling. I am not ruled by every urge. I am not bound to every old version of myself. Galatians 5 and 16 says, walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Walking in the spirit is not just about avoiding sin. It's about learning a new way to move, a new way to choose, a new way to respond, a new way to become. If I'm led by the Ruach, I do not have to be led by emotions. If I'm led by the truth, I do not have to be led by impulse. If I'm led by YAH, I do not have to become what my flesh is demanding in that moment. So before you follow another feeling, come back under the leading of the Ruach and declare this with me. I am covenant rooted, not mood led. I am led by the Ruach, not fear or flesh. Approval can be a false covering. It can feel like safety. It can feel like belonging. It can feel like confirmation. But if approval is the foundation of identity, then identity can shift every time people opinions shift. When people celebrate you, you feel worthy. When people ignore you, you feel invisible. When people misunderstand you, you feel unstable. When people reject you, you feel erased. That is not covenant identity. That is people management identity. Covenant identity is not built on being seen by everybody. It's built on belonging to Yah. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people. First Peter 2 and 9. Chosen does not mean everybody understands you. Set apart does not mean everybody approves of you. Royal does not mean you perform for attention. Particular does not mean you shrink because you are different. It means Yah has claimed you for his purpose. Release the need to be approved by people. Remember that Yah has already called you. And say this declaration: I am not performing for identity. I am agreeing with covenant truth. Covenant identity has to move through three places. What thoughts am I agreeing with? If a thought contradicts Yah's word, I do not have to host it. If a thought keeps renaming me by fear, shame, rejection, or survival, I can cast it down. Casting down arguments in every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah. That's 2 Corinthians 10 and 5. Second, my mouth. What am I speaking to myself? Your words can either be rehearse fear or rehearse covenant. You can repeat the womb or repeat the word. You can keep naming you by what happened or begin agreeing with what Yah has already said. Three, movement. What am I obeying? Identity is strengthened when it takes one small step at a time in alignment with truth, not a dramatic step, not a performative step, one faithful step. Read the truth, speak the truth, obey the truth. That's identity reset rhythm. Here's the simple rhythm for this week. Choose one identity scripture. Examples are Isaiah 43 and 1, 1 Peter 2 and 9, Romans 8 and 1, 2 Corinthians 5 and 17, Romans 12 and 2. Choose one declaration, say it out loud, slowly, and let your mouth agree with covenant truth. I am who Yah says I am. I am covenant rooted, not mood led. I am set apart for Yah. I am not condemned. I am being renewed. I reject every false name spoken over me. Take one spirit led step that agrees with truth. That may look like turning off the voice that feeds you, praying before reacting, speaking truth instead of rehearsing shame, choosing discipline instead of escape, returning to scripture before seeking approval. Stand in agreement with what Yah has spoken. Say this with me: I am who Yah says I am. I am not my fear. I am not my flesh. I am not who approval says I have to become. I am not performing for identity. I am agreeing with covenant truth. I am called by Yah. I am covered by his order. I am set apart for his purpose. I am being renewed. I align my mind, mouth, and movements with covenant truth. Yahuwah has the final word over who I am. If this teaching has helped you, comment covenant below as your declaration that you are choosing what Yah said over fear, flesh, and approval. Save this video for your next identity reset and share this with a woman who needs to remember who she is in Yah. Shalom, ladies.